Wealth without work cannot be possible. Similarly, science without humanity has no significance. Worship without sacrifice is of no use. And similarly, politics without principles is no important. A very good morning to all. Today, again I am here in front of you to carry on with the fourth part of the second chapter, The End of Bipolarity, from the book The World Politics. Students, if you remember, in the previous video, I had asked you a question, and that was, what do you mean by socialist and capitalist mode of production? To tell you frankly, I was so good, I was so comfortable to read all your comments because it was a proof that you have watched my video and at the same time you are reading the content. So the answer to the question is that a socialist model of production is a society that is based on equality. It has a direct mode of production. Apart from that, its basic intention or its objective is the good of the people. On the other hand, a capitalist mode of production is framed with an objective of profit making. Similarly, it is owned by private individuals and therefore the government has no intervention in it. Let's move on to our slide work. Till now, we have studied the meaning of bipolarity and we have come to a stage where we saw that how USSR was able to establish itself and then what factors led to its disintegration. Disintegration का मतलब कि कैसे USSR धीरे धीरे करके अपनी इकोनॉमी को कम करता गया और उसका जो फिनेंस है वो खत्म होता गया. लोगों का उस पर जो ट्रस्ट है वो कम होने लग पड़ा. Why? Because when we talk about Mikhail Gorbachev, then he had become a little autocratic and authoritarian kind of a person, where he never wanted people to express themselves. So the people wanted public opinion, people wanted some intervention in the government, they wanted their rights, they wanted the government to take care of their rights. But USSR led to its disintegration in this way. We had also studied about the shock therapy. If you remember, shock therapy was a transitional phase. I would like you to go back to that same slide where in the previous video I had discussed about shock therapy. So this was shock therapy. If I recall or if I recap, then I told you that shock therapy is a transitional phase. Transition मतलब change. So change किस चीज में आया? Change from an authoritarian government to a democratic government and from a socialist mode of production to a capitalist mode of production. Right? And shock therapy has been considered to be one of the biggest transitions in the human history. Apart from that, we also discussed in the previous video that when USSR started losing its economic you can say hold on the nation, then people started losing their faith and automatically the states, many of the states of USSR were directly or indirectly controlled by USA or America. That means USSR was just like a puppet in the hands of American you can say private individuals which were owning the states and their production of different things. So this is the stage where we can say that the world could see that no longer world could be called as bipolar. क्योंकि अभी तक जब तक कोल्ड वॉर था तब तक तो हम ये समझते थे that there were two superpower blocks. One was America, another was Soviet Union. One was USSR, another was USA. But slowly and gradually, with the disintegration of USSR, ऐसा कुछ भी नहीं हुआ, and now gradually the world was moving from bipolar to unipolar. Unipolar means one country was the superpower and that was America. So here we had studied the shock therapy in the previous video. Today we'll talk about the consequences of shock therapy. The consequences of shock therapy. Generally, it brought a ruin to the economies and disaster upon the people of the entire region. In Russia, the industrial complex almost collapsed. When particularly talking about Russia, then I would like to tell you that with the shock therapy, that is the transitional phase. That is when the states of USSR were controlled directly or indirectly by America, then it brought ruin to the economy. Ruin, that is destruction, a complete disaster to the economy. And therefore, what happened? That the people started having a life that they had never imagined. Okay, the industries were simply sold off at very low prices. About 90% of the industries were put up for sale to private individuals and companies. अब गवर्नमेंट तो कुछ उसमें इंटरवीन कर नहीं पा रही थी, and that is why they could not control. Right? The government could not control the industries क्योंकि लोग भी नहीं चाहते थे, and moreover USA had its hold on it, and therefore 90% of the industries of USSR were completely sold to private individuals. Right? Then, since the restructuring was carried out through market forces and not by government directed industrial policies, it led to the virtual disappearance of the entire industries. तो धीरे धीरे करके ये जो इंडस्ट्रीज थी यूएसएसआर में, ये डिमिनिश होने लग पड़ी, ये डिक्लाइन होने लग पड़ी, बिकॉज द गवर्नमेंट हैड नो रोल टू प्ले इन इट, एंड व्हेन दे वर सोल्ड टू द प्राइवेट ओनर्स एंड प्राइवेट इंडिविजुअल्स एंड प्राइवेट कंपनीज, देन ऑटोमेटिकली दे स्टार्टेड रनिंग द इंडस्ट्रीज दे वांटेड. वो अपनी तरीके से उन इंडस्ट्रीज को रन करने लग पड़े. तो हम यहाँ पर क्या पढ़ रहे हैं? हम पढ़ रहे हैं कि कैसे यूएसएसआर का डिसइंटीग्रेशन हो गया. एंड जब हम डिसइंटीग्रेशन पढ़ते हैं तो उसमें एक बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट कॉन्सेप्ट हम पढ़ते हैं, एंड दैट इज शॉक थेरेपी. शॉक थेरेपी मतलब ट्रांजिशनल फेज फ्रॉम एन अथॉरिटेरियन गवर्नमेंट टू अ डेमोक्रेटिक गवर्नमेंट. इन अदर वर्ड्स, फ्रॉम अ सोशलिस्ट मोड ऑफ प्रोडक्शन टू अ कैपिटलिस्ट मोड ऑफ प्रोडक्शन. Socialist mode of production matlab the society which was based on equality and was controlled by the government was now moved to a society which was owned by private individuals. और private individuals जहाँ भी involve होंगे, उनका जो motive है, उनका objective है, वो होगा profit making, ना कि welfare of the people. Is that clear? Now we are moving to a slide that is very very important for a 2 marker and for a 4 marker question. That is, this was called the largest garage sale in history as the valuable industries were undervalued and sold at throwaway prices. तो जो हमने ये पढ़ा लास्ट स्लाइड में, that 90% of the industries were sold off to the private individuals. तो ये जो पूरा सेल है इंडस्ट्रीज का, इसको बोला जाता है द बिगेस्ट, द लार्जेस्ट गैरेज सेल इन ह्यूमन हिस्ट्री. और ऐसा क्यों बोला जाता है? द आंसर इज ऑलरेडी गिवन, because industries were undervalued and they were sold off at very low prices. तो अगर आपको 2 marker या 2 marker का आ जाता है तो you can simply write because the industries were sold off at very low prices. और अगर ये एक large extended question आता है, then you can talk a little about the shock therapy, and you can also tell that why it is called as the largest garage sale, and you can even say that the condition of the USSR was such that 90% of its industries were sold to the private individuals, and USSR industries just became a puppet in their hands. तो इस तरह से आप आंसर को एक्सटेंड करके लिख सकते हैं. So this part is very important from a 2 marker and from a 4 marker point of view. Though all the citizens were given vouchers to participate in the sale. तो ये जो सेल हो रही थी इंडस्ट्रीज की, इसमें सिटीजन्स को वाउचर्स दिए गए that you can take a voucher and you can participate in it. If you want to buy, you can buy an industry. But you tell me one thing, a person who has no food to eat, will he be in a condition to buy an industry? I don't think so. First of all, we will be concerned with the basic necessities of our life. Similarly, what happened? Though all citizens were given vouchers to participate in the sale, most citizens sold their vouchers in the black market because they needed the money. तो condition इतनी खराब हो चुकी थी that the people had no food to eat, and that is why उन vouchers का वो कुछ कर नहीं सकते थे, but they had to sell it out in the market, and that is why by getting a little money they could buy basic amenities for their family like food. All right. Then the value of ruble, that is Russian currency, declined dramatically. You all are economic students and आप बहुत अच्छे से जानते होंगे कि what do you mean by inflation, right? So when the rate of inflation rises, then automatically people have to spend even their savings. जितना भी उन्होंने सेव करके पैसा रखा होता है वो पैसा भी उनको लगाना पड़ता है किस चीज में, बेसिक एमिनिटीज खरीदने में, जैसे कि फूड, शेल्टर, और या फिर बच्चों को पढ़ाने में, या फिर हेल्थ केयर फैसिलिटीज लेने में. ओके, सो व्हेन द रेट ऑफ इन्फ्लेशन वाज सो हाई, देन द पीपल वर लेफ्ट विद नो अदर ऑल्टरनेटिव बट टू सेल ऑफ देयर savings, to invest their savings in buying food, in buying basic amenities, जो basic necessities हैं लोगों के लिए वो. तो हम इस वीडियो में क्या पढ़ रहे हैं? We are talking about the disintegration of USSR. We are talking about shock therapy, that was a transitional phase from a socialist to a capitalist mode of production. And here right now we are talking about the consequences of shock therapy. One of the biggest consequences of shock therapy was the largest garage sale in the human history. It is called as the largest garage sale in the human history because 90% of the industries in USSR were sold off to private individuals at very low prices. Is that clear? Moving on to the next slide. The collective farm system disintegrated, leaving people without food security, and Russia started to import food. अब farmers की condition इतनी खराब थी that they were not able to produce food. रशिया में क्या होने लग पड़ा, जो कि वो खुद फूड प्रोड्यूस करता था, अब ऐसी कंडीशन आ गई that the country had to import food from other countries in order to survive. So जब import करने की कंडीशन आ जाए, basic necessities, you can just imagine that the condition of the people must be very very poor, right? Then the old system of social welfare was systematically destroyed and the withdrawal of the government subsidies pushed large sections of the people into poverty. धीरे धीरे जब ये decline शुरू हो गया, that the industries were sold, the people were left unemployed and the people could not do any business, the people could not get into jobs, and automatically there was no food in the family, the people had to spend all their savings to buy food. So automatically what will happen, they will move towards poverty, right? They'll become poor, right? So though it was a developing country that time, but it had come below poverty line. It had come below the line of poverty wherein the people had to struggle to survive in order to make both their ends meet, right? Then the middle classes were pushed to the periphery. Periphery का मतलब होता है boundary. Alright, so हम यहाँ पे हर क्लास की बात कर रहे हैं. Even the middle classes were pushed to poverty and even the intellectual classes, जो पढ़े लिखे लोग थे, they were also left with no jobs, and that is why even their condition was very very poor. So I'll just read this para from the slide. The middle classes were pushed to the periphery of the society and the academic and the intellectual manpower disintegrated or migrated. धीरे धीरे करके वो जो intellectual class है, जो पढ़े लिखे लोग थे, वो migrate होना शुरू हो गए in search of jobs. वहाँ पे jobs थी नहीं, so they started migrating to different lands in search of jobs. Okay. Mafia emerged in most of these countries and started controlling many economic activities. हमेशा से ही क्या देखा जाता है that you know in economics you must have again studied that all these activities, all these factors are like a vicious circle. आप पढ़ते हो ना कि अगर अनएम्प्लॉयमेंट है तो मतलब जॉब नहीं है तो पैसा नहीं है, लोग जो उनके उस फैमिली के बच्चे हैं वो पढ़ नहीं पा रहे, उनको बेसिक एमिनिटीज नहीं मिल पा रहे, उनको जब फूड नहीं मिल पा रहा, प्रॉपर न्यूट्रिशियस फूड नहीं मिल पा रहा, तो उनका जो हेल्थ है वो डिटेरिएट हो रहा है. जब वो हेल्दी नहीं है तो वो पढ़ने में ध्यान नहीं लगा पा रहे, जब पढ़ नहीं पा रहे तो जॉब्स नहीं मिल रही, जब जॉब्स नहीं मिल रही तो अगेन देयर फैमिली इज गोइंग टुवर्ड्स पॉवर्टी. सो इट इज लाइक अ विशियस सर्कल. Similarly, what happened here when the entire USSR was disintegrating and it was going towards its end and the people in Russia were jobless, then automatically there emerged a mafia. Mafia means that circle of corruption. So now it was like every activity in the country was controlled by a mafia. That means a gang which can hold on to the activities and can do the way it wants. Whether it was murder, whether it was corruption, whether it was any other means by which the people were looted, was like a everyday affair. रोज का एक काम बन गया. Is that okay? So there was lot of, in nutshell you can understand this way, that corruption also started emerging, right? Moving on to the next slide. The construction of democratic institutions was not given the same attention and priority as the demands of the economic transformation. तो लोगों को अभी भी expression of speech नहीं मिला, democracy नहीं मिली, और क्योंकि पूरा जो construction है, structure है economy का, वो किस पे ध्यान दे रहा था? economy को आगे बढ़ाने में, ना कि लोगों को democracy दिलाने में. Then the constitutions of these countries were drafted in a hurry, and most, including Russia, had a strong executive president with the widest possible powers that rendered elected parliaments relatively weak. तो जो यहाँ पे presidents बने, जो इस like for a particular country like Russia, president के पास इतनी power थी that he did not mind doing anything, and he did not like wait for giving powers to the people. So he was the ultimate power. उसको ये नहीं मालूम था कि लोग परेशान है कि नहीं, लोगों के पास राइट्स है कि नहीं. He had the ultimate power of doing what he wanted. Alright, then a judicial culture and independence of the judiciary was yet to be established. जैसे कि हम इंडिया में देखते हैं, India has 3 tiers: legislature, executive and judiciary. In case the people feel that they are not getting their rights or their rights are getting violated, then they can knock the door of the judiciary. Right, but now what happened here? There was a lack of judiciary. कोई जुडिशियल सिस्टम नहीं था जहां पे लोग जाकर अपना कंप्लेंट रजिस्टर करवाएं या फिर प्रेसिडेंट के अगेंस्ट कुछ बोलें. ऑलराइट, एंड दैट इज व्हाई व्हाट हैपेंड, दैट दे फेल्ट दैट देयर वाज अ नीड ऑफ जुडिशियल सिस्टम. Now, most of these economies, especially Russia, started reviving in 2000, 10 years after their independence. The reason for the revival for most of the economies was the export of natural resources like oil, natural gas and minerals. Students, here we are talking about that stage again when slowly and gradually Russia started reviving its economy. Reviving मतलब उसको ठीक ठाक करने लग पड़ा, उसको stability की तरफ लाने लग पड़ा. वो stability क्यों आई? When it started exporting some of its natural resources. Export समझते हो? मतलब दूसरे देशों में अपने natural resources को sell off करने लग पड़ा, right? और वो कौन से natural resources थे? Oil, minerals and natural gas. तो जब इन 3 चीजों का export होने लग पड़ा, पैसा आने लग पड़ा economy में, और धीरे करके रशिया की जो economy है वो stable होने लग पड़ी. Is that clear? After this we have a slide called tensions and conflicts. This I'll take up in the next video. So today what we have studied about the shock therapy. We had a recap of shock therapy. Then we studied about the consequences of shock therapy. The biggest consequence of the shock therapy was the disintegration of USSR and vice versa. And therefore we saw that how 90% of the industries were sold off to private individuals. Why? Because shock therapy is a transitional phase from socialist to capitalist mode of production. ठीक है, और मैंने जैसे ही वीडियो स्टार्ट किया था मैंने आपको बताया था that what do we mean by socialist?